Hello and welcome back to the Track Day Direct tire test. After recording this video, I got a new phone, and unfortunately in the process I lost all of my recordings, so we're going to take this as an opportunity to try a new format. What you see right now is me doing the 10-minute hot lap test on the new Accelera 351 GD tire. We have it in size 245 40 17 now on my car. Usually I'll run a 235 40 17, a little bit wider than typical, but essentially the same size. So here we are on the first lap. I'm just kind of getting used to the tires, seeing how they feel. It is also important to note that all of these tires that we're doing on this tire test are heat cycled. We do 1 minute on the skid pad of figure eights, then I let them sit for at least an hour, and then we do this 10-minute hot lap. I definitely remember when I did these first couple of laps, I was very impressed. I wouldn't say surprised, because Accelera has a pretty good name out there. I had seen a couple of reviews before this and the people seemed to like them, so I was definitely impressed with the overall feel. It felt very similar to my standard go-to tire, which is a Kenda KR20 300 treadwear. By the way, these Achilles are also 300 treadwear, so I would say they're a pretty direct competitor to the very popular Kenda KR20. That beeping that you may hear in the background is my engine temperature, coolant temperature to be specific, that goes off at 220. It was a very hot day today. It was mid 80s and very sunny, so track temps were definitely high. I also made a fatal mistake and I forgot to turn my air conditioning off. So I did have to take a few extra cool down laps than what I would typically have to do. But I did take that into account when I was grading the characteristics of this tire. So as you might have heard there before I basically spun out, I did do a clutch kick transition. I was trying to push these as hard as I could. There are a few spin outs throughout this lap, I believe. It's important to note also that in an attempt to try to get an even, fair representation of all these tires across all the different types of cars, driver style, tracks, I set all of the tire pressures to 35 psi cold. Many people may think that's too high of a tire pressure, but others think that that's too low for their typical usage. I usually run my tires in the low 20s cold, but it's very tire dependent. But having these at 35 is not ideal for my setup and my driving style. I will say that after this test was done, I dropped the tire pressure to, I believe, 22 cold, and they felt even better. One thing that I really liked about them compared compared to a lot of the other tires that I tested was the sidewall response seemed to be top-notch. Very consistent, very smooth and controlled. So grip is right around where you would expect a nice 300 treadwear tire to be, but this does have a nicer sidewall than most competitors. It's interesting. When I was driving, I did not seem to feel like there was any greasing of the tire or otherwise less traction because of high heat. But as I'm watching this video, it looks like I did have less traction in these later runs compared to the earlier runs. Now we go to the evaluation part. Like I said, I was very impressed with this tire. For grip, I'm rating it a 7 out of 10. It was a very competent and comfortable tire, but less than what I've seen from other 300 treadwear tires. But the responsiveness, I gave a 9, which is 1 point higher than Kenda. Very noticeable difference in the responsiveness, which is mostly attributed to sidewall stiffness. Smoke I gave a 6, which is pretty mediocre for most tires. Not bad, not good. For life I gave an 8, which is one less than my typical Kenda tire that I gave a 9 to. These wore extremely well, very even, no signs of delamination. But they did wear a little bit faster than I would have expected for my typical tire. So how I've been kind of describing these to a lot of people that I meet and they ask about this tire is it's basically the same as a Kenda with a stiffer sidewall at the expense of less tire life. Not drastically less, it still lasts a long time, which, speaking of the official tire measurement when we were done, the tread depth after these runs was 630 seconds. I highly recommend this tire. If Kenda's not available, if you just want to try something else. And of course, all of these tire tests, all the different feedback varies from person to person. There are some people that love Kenda, there are some people that hate Kenda, and that goes for every tire that's out there. It seems to be chassis dependent, driver style dependent, track dependent. So definitely try them for yourself. But I highly recommend these for anybody, intermediate, advanced experience. You can really throw some aggressive entries with them once you lower tire pressure. They last a long time. Pricing is really good. And always, please contact Trackday Direct. Their website is trackdaydirect.com. Their social media is at TrackdayDirect. Reach out to them. They have some great prices, great availability, and overall just really great guys that are supportive of the grassroots community entirely. Thank you very much for watching this, and I hope to see you at the next one.